January the 4th. This is a Wednesday, and this is my yoga practice. So, started. A quick forward fold to get out any kinks in the neck and the back. Feel some space between the vertebrae. The neck had a couple kinks. That's really what I'm doing, is getting the space between the vertebrae and the low back. Feels good. Alright, so let's get started. Downward facing dog. There we go. That's downward facing dog. So hands about shoulder width apart. Feet either hips width apart or shoulder width apart. There we go, something like that. And try to work on straightening the arms and the back first. Try to get those in a single straight line. And as you start to do that, you can start to stretch the shoulders a little more. So you make what would, if you could, would look like an obtuse angle with your arms and your back. Not like this, but go the other way. But be very careful and slowly start to straighten the legs. Feel the calf muscles stretch along with the hamstrings as you rotate the pelvis forward. So yeah, stick that. Stick your bottom up in the air. Rotate the pelvis forward. And slowly straighten the legs a little bit. Another minute and a half. And relax. Protect the elbows, so you may need to engage the arms a little bit to prevent the elbows from over-rotating. If you can, breathe through the nose, if that's an option for you. Either way, slow inhales and exhales as best you can. Same length on both sides of the inhale and the exhale. And relax. You might wiggle the joints, wiggle the shoulders a little bit, wiggle the heels a little bit. Feel, if you can see if you can feel some more space on the body. And back to the pose. It's a very interesting stretch because because I'm on the carpet, right? The hands will slide more easily than as if I were on a yoga mat. So I have to use some shoulder effort to keep the hands from sliding. Yet at the same time, I'm trying to stretch the shoulders up, trying to stretch this part of the shoulder, which I need that. For my back bends, I stretch that part of the shoulder. The front side, right? So the pectoral side of the shoulder. Alright, upward facing dog up next. So I place my hands to the back, which is kind of opposite of what most people do for upward facing dog. But it's my yoga practice, so I do that so I can get some more stimulation on, more sensation on the forearm. And low back is moving kind of slow today. Apparently it is not in position for back bends, at least not yet. And that's why we do upward facing dog. So yeah, the reason I'm not lifting my head back yet is because the low back. I'm still waiting for that to get into place. Because I had to tense up the low back to support the low back as it was stretching, as it was sliding into place. And you want to get to the point where you can relax the low back, which I've hit. So now I can extend the stretch. Yeah, I just kind of rolled out of bed this morning, and now I'm doing this. So that's why I'm yawning a little bit. Relax. Feel that sensation on the forearms and the low back. Yeah, and this has really gotten into basically a maintenance pose as well for me. Doesn't seem like there's too much growth I can get from this pose. But this pose is fantastic because it gets the low back into the right spot for additional back bends. Which is coming up, because next up is going to be a wheel pose. You can twist around a little bit, see what that feels like. So when I do that, I've got to be careful with the wrists. I've got a lot of sensation on the wrists. Another 10 seconds. And that is that. All right. Slowly get the hands back to where you can use them. There we go. Timer started for the next pose. Next up is wheel pose. So get your feet close to your glutes, get your hands close to your ears. Yeah, super yawny today. Pull this up onto the head, make sure you get the hands on the right spot. And there you go. That's a wheel pose. For 2.5 minutes, right? Maybe not. I usually only seem to be able to get a minute through the wheel pose before the sensation becomes too much. It always feels like there's a lot of stretching going on the front side of the body. So yeah, the shoulders, the pectoral side of the shoulders, and the upper thighs, as well as the abdomen. There's a lot of stretch happening right here. As well as feeling the floating ribs on the back. They're usually not used to this sort of stimulation. And the shoulders will start to give out because I'm still having to stretch a lot. I can't really stack the joints yet. Yeah, look at that. It's about a minute in. And I'm shaking, so we'll make that it for the day. For the wheel pose. And then do some camel pose. Hey, hey, got a viewer. A new person is watching. Alright. Get a cramp out of the toe. And grab the heels. And that's camel pose. I hope that you can even see all of that. For me right now, this is what is happening. What do I feel? I feel a stretch on my pectoral muscles and a little bit on the abs. And it feels like the left elbow wants to over-rotate, so I've got to use the left bicep to prevent that. the timer. There we go. And that is that. Alright. So those are back bends. Yay. Clear that out. Start the next 3 minutes. Forward fold. Alright, so I just did a lot of posterior flex on the spine. Now I'm going to do some anterior flex on the spine towards the front of the body. So I get there nice and slow, so the low back has time to get into place. There we go. Get the heels, ankles, balls of the feet together. And bring this down. Wrinkle here. So today is the 4th, so I'm gonna take the left leg, I'm gonna do a half lotus as I fold forward, kind of a half lotus. It's really just kind of the foot above the knee. So yeah, look at that. I can use the left leg to help keep the right leg to help keep the left leg straight. And rotate the pelvis a little more. Do that for a minute, and then I'll switch sides. Another 12 seconds. Go. Other side. So I've got the shin just above, that's the knee, that's the shin. So the shin is just above the knee, kind of at the end of the quad. Which helps to straighten the right leg. It allows me to relax into the forward fold. That is that. Alright. So next up, hip opener. Oh wow, lots of people just joined. Alright, yeah, where is my leg at? And my leg was like that. Alright, but next up, I've already started the timer, so we're doing hip openers. Next up on the hip opener, be very careful if you follow at home. And today is the 4th. So I start with the right leg first. Get that right foot. Cradle the foot in the arms, right? If you can, you do this, right? Alright, and then here, next up is foot behind the head. So you lay down, you're very careful. Watch out, because the muscle slides over the bone. Right there. And you place this behind the head. And you get it close, right? You get the shin. You want the shin, the Achilles, to touch somewhere on the skull, right? Or you just bring the foot into the chest. And then you relax. And you hold the pose for the rest of the timer. I set the timer for 3 minutes. Let's see if I can get the keyboard. Oh, look at that. I got the keyboard. So let's see if I can. There we go. Yeah, behind the back, right? Oh, behind the head. Yep. Yeah, and that's the foot right there, right? If I turn the head, I can hold it. Hey, look at that. But when you hold it like that, you have to use the neck and the back to push back on the leg, because the thigh is trying to spring the leg forward, and that takes a lot of effort on the neck and spine. And whenever I'm doing the deep stretches, especially in my practice, I want to find a place where I can just relax and hold the stretch with the least amount of effort. So that's why my left arm, my left elbow is in the left foot, or is cradling the left foot. And relax and just hold that. And just relax and breathe for another 20 seconds. And with this pose, you can feel the blood flow constricting the thigh, so the foot starts to fall asleep. It doesn't get quite there because I don't hold it for 3 minutes. But that's the way it goes. Alright, so very, very carefully and slowly, bring this out. Let the leg go down. Let the blood flow, circulation restart. Alright. Let me get the timer started for the next side. And wow, that leg came back. Huh? Alright. Yeah, got the leg behind the back. Alright, so the body does have two sides, right? So do the other side. First off, right, you grab your foot, bring it towards the chest, right? My hip's already very open, a lot of stretching gets it there. And then right, you start to cradle the leg and the foot, right? Start to get everything towards the chest. Doing this seated up. Then when you go down, be very careful. Because now your back is straight. When you bring the foot in towards the chest, you'll feel more stretch. You'll feel quite a nice stretch on the hip. And when you want to put the foot behind the head, be very careful, because as you bring the hip up, right here, there's a transition where the muscles slide over the bone, and you might be flexible with the muscles on one side of the bone, more flexible with the muscles on one side of the bone as compared to the other, and it might not work out for you. Alright, look at that. I got the left side straight up. I don't have to pause with the foot on the skull or anything. So yeah, I've actually got there's the back of the skull where the neck meets the skull. That's where the shin sits behind the skull. But again, if you go like this and you get the head pushing on it, you have to use the neck and back to keep the leg back there, and that gets a little old after a while. It's a lot of effort on the neck. And now I'm rotating over to so that the left knee is on the floor. I've got the right elbow around the left foot. Feeling intense stretch on the left thigh. Hold that for another minute. And the timer is set for 3 minutes, proposed per side. 3 minutes is a nice time frame so that you can get deeply into the pose. You can hold the pose deeply, but you don't do it for too long. So a lot of sensation on the left thigh. Concerned that it's not sustainable, so let up a little bit. Yeah. Lots of sensation on the left thigh. Relax for another 3 seconds. And that's that. Again, very carefully. Release the body. Alright. And if you do decide to follow at home, right, only do what your body allows you to do, right? Just because I do it doesn't mean you can do it. So now, hamstring stretch. Today's the 4th, so I start with the right leg, get the right foot in camera. My legs are at about 120 degrees apart, I have found. That's about as far as I can get it without running into man issues. Because I've got man parts that'll get in the way. But this is a hamstring stretch, right? Where's the hamstring stretch? The easy way to start a hamstring stretch is Janushirasana. So you've got foot to thigh, and you take this down. I'm going for extra stimulation on other parts of the body. So for my hamstring stretch, I grab the right foot with the left hand. I bring the right elbow through to the inside of the thigh. So the right shoulder's on the earth. Forehead's on the earth, just barely. I feel a stretch on the left shoulder, as well as an intense stretch on the right hamstring. And the hamstring presses right into the earth, so if the hamstring's not in a good spot on the earth, you'll feel it. So that's why you gotta lift up sometimes just to get it into a better spot. Just what I just did. And then after all this, you get the right hand underneath the left thigh. And rotate the eye of the right elbow towards the front of the body. Actually rotating the eye of the elbow towards the floor. There you go. That's a better cue. When you do that, you rotate the elbow around. You might feel a small pop in the right shoulder. And then you enjoy the rest of the pose for another minute or so. So lots of sensation on the left shoulder and the right thigh. Relax and breathe. Check in with your body, feel the sensation, make sure it's not too much. There's a difference between sensation and pain. If you feel pain, you've gone too far. If you feel sensation, that's okay. You shouldn't have any pain, just sensation. And relax. And enjoy the pose. Equal parts inhale and exhale. Breathe through the nose. And that's it. Slowly come out. So after I do that, my spine is used to going that way. Even centering the spine feels interesting. Alright, get the timer ready for the next side. Get the left foot in frame. Where's that left foot? There's that left foot. Maybe. Alright, there we go. Left foot is in frame. Alright, hey, look at that. Got some more people. Fun stuff. Alright, so 120. Legs spread apart about 120 degrees. If I spread it more than 120, I've got man parts. They get in the way and the pelvis starts to cross the man parts, and that doesn't feel good. So about 120 is about it. So then grab the left leg. Oh yeah. The starter pose for this is Janushirasana. You bring the foot into the thigh, and then you start to bring this down. You bring the head down, and you're going to feel a stretch there. But in any case, what I want is, I don't know what this is called, but it's more of a side stretch, but it also provides some hamstring stretch. And you got to relax, because the body is what controls. Just because you want to do something, the body doesn't mean the body can do it. And I have to wait for the low back as it gets into place. Relax the pelvis. There we go. And, man part issues. hamstring issues. There we go. So yeah, I've already got the right hand underneath the left hand underneath the right thigh. And yeah, rotate the eye of the elbow, so that's the bicep side of the elbow, towards the floor. I felt a little pop in the left shoulder. And then enjoy the pose for another 45 seconds or so. There we go. That's that. Equal parts inhale and exhale. Try to breathe through the nose as best as you can. Feel that sensation. Feel some stretch on the right shoulder, but most of the sensation I feel is on the left thigh and hamstring. And then move around a little bit so you can feel all those muscles. And that's it for that. Alright, so next up is straddle splits. So we get back towards the center of the frame. Feet out towards the side. You can see one foot. Look at that. Bring this forward. Yeah, the starter pose, right, is you just ratchet your legs further and further apart. And eventually you start to fold forward. Start to feel that stretch. And there you go. You want to get the abdomen and pelvis all into the earth. And for that, you got to get the man parts out of the way. There we go, touching the big toes. And then let the arms rest on the earth for just a moment. For the first minute, you get into the pose. And then stretch out the right shoulder. Be very careful, make sure it's in a good spot. And then use the upper body to control the amount of sensation on the right shoulder. Do this for a minute, and then do the other shoulder for a minute. So I'm actually using my abs a little bit to control the rotation of the upper body, to control the amount of sensation on the right shoulder. I've got sensation on the outside of the shoulder and a little bit on the pectoral muscle because the pectoral muscle is getting compressed. And that's it for that side. And we do the other side. Yeah, so on the left side, when I'm stretching the left shoulder, I don't feel any compression on the left pectoral, or at least not as much. So, maybe my left pectoral muscle is not as large as the right, I don't know. But I guess my left shoulder is a little more open or something, which is interesting, because usually the right side of my body is more flexible than the left side of the body. For this particular stretch, appears the opposite is true. For another 10 seconds. Feel that stretch. Alright, that is that. Very cool. Last pose of the practice. Up in the right spot. Handstand practice. Alright, so be very careful, only if you know what you're doing. Hands about shoulder width apart on the floor. And then press up into the starter pose. So transfer the weight onto the hands. Lift that up. Check your surroundings. Make sure you got enough room to go. And then, yeah, just transfer weight on the hands, bring the hips up. It's just that easy. It's not always. We'll see. See what I can do today. Balance and focus. Focus and balance. Oh, yeah. That was not planned, but it happened. The coming down part was not planned. Let's see if I can do that again. Oh, come on. Get the cramp out of the right foot. There we go. Hold the pose. Oh, come on. Balance. Focus. Balance. Balance. Oh, that's it. Alright, hey, look at that. Got even another viewer. Alright, so we'll finish this out. Finish out the 3 minutes with a headstand. Hey. So the easy way to get started, but do not do headstands at home unless you know what you're doing. Because it puts a lot of pressure on the neck, which is not what you're used to. Can be very dangerous. But I've practiced before, so I kind of know what I'm doing. So I can just chill out and relax in a lotus headstand. Relax and breathe. And flip the legs, so lotus the other way. For the rest of the time, looks like I got 15 seconds left. Feel the elongation of the spine. And that is that. All right. Bring that down. All right. So, there we go. Can't type anymore. All right. Thanks, everyone. It's been great. Hope you enjoyed it. That's my 8 a.m. practice. And we'll do that around 8 a.m. or so. Try to get started at 8 a.m. But hey. I actually did get started right at 8 a.m. today. And in any case, I thank y'all all for watching and hope y'all each enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun.